after many, many years trying to teach my students how to pronounce TH correctly, the, this, that, I've come to the conclusion that it's too difficult to pronounce correctly. So today I'm going to show you a little secret to make it much easier to say words that have TH in them by replacing a TH with a different sound. Now, I'm a Londoner, so my accent is what you call a Thames estuary accent. And in London, we don't usually pronounce the TH as a TH. We use something called TH fronting. So instead of using the tongue to make the sound, we use the bottom lip. And actually we replace it either with an F, f, or a V, v, depending if we need some vibration or not. To give an example, in London we don't really say brother, we say brother with a V, and sometimes we just shorten it to bruv. All right, bruv, how you doing, bruv? Yeah, not too bad. Now, it doesn't mean we always use TH fronting instead of the TH. It does depend on the word. Especially if it's TH at the beginning of the word, often we pronounce it with the TH. But if it's in the middle of the words or at the end of the word, where it's very difficult to pronounce it with the TH, we will use a V or an F. Now, it's not just Londoners or people from the Thames Estuary region. Cockney accent, which is another accent from London, as well as some others from the West Country in UK, and also here in Yorkshire and some parts of Yorkshire, and also around the world. Sometimes in Australia you'll hear this. Some parts of America they have the same accent, and I think it's becoming more and more popular because it's just easier to do. And actually, you'll find that children, they always, or I should say babies, they really start by making this sound before they learn to make the TH sound. So let's look at a couple of more examples of this TH fronting. So, for instance, I'm from London, but I'm from South London. You notice how I say this? South, with an F sound at the end. Yeah, even though it ends with a TH, we say South London. And if you're from the north, you're from North London, North London. Now, I don't say 1, 2, 3. What I say is 1, 2, 3. Free. A bit like this word. So one place this TH fronting can come in very, very handy, very, very useful, is when we say ordinal numbers. Now these numbers, many of them contain the TH sound, and it is quite difficult to say in these numbers. When I teach ordinal numbers to my students and do it with the correct TH sound, I find it really awkward. And for this reason, I think I'm going to stop teaching only the TH sound. I'm going to give people an alternative as well. So let's look at the alternative. Yeah. So for instance, for this number here, it's quite an easy one, doesn't really change. It's first. First. Second. Second. Notice the stress on the first syllable, and the second syllable is really reduced, and we can chuck the schwa in there. Sometimes we can even say it without the schwa as well, so it just becomes like this. Second, especially when we say it quite fast. Now, TH fronting time. Third. You notice I'm using an F at the beginning. Now, this starts with an F, so why not end with an F? It's much easier to say. F or fourth. Again, let's start with an F and end in an F. Fifth. Let's end this in an F as well. Sixth. Seventh. eighth, eighth, ninth, ninth. Again, we're ending in that F sound. Ninth, ninth. And finally, tenth, tenth. Again, ending in that F. And you can do this throughout the ordinal numbers whenever you have this TH sound, whether it's at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end. You can just use an F or a V. Now, these ordinal numbers, they do change a little bit. Also, the pronunciation of them does change a little bit when we put them into sentences. So, for instance, it was his first birthday. First birthday. So there's a gap between first and birthday. We don't lose any of the letters. But what about this? First time. It was my first time. My first time. First, and ending on the S, time. So we don't say first time. We drop one of the T's. First time. It's my first time. And it will also work with any of the numbers that end in a D sound. So second, second time, second time. We'll drop the D here. Third, third time, third time, third time. Again, we drop the last consonant sound. Fourth time, we don't drop it there. So, okay, let's go one last review, and I want you to practice saying these with me. So I'm going to say the ordinal number, and then you want you to repeat after me. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. I said it with a TH then. Let me try that again. Sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. Well, there you go. There's a little secret there for you to help you pronounce these ordinal numbers, or any word that has TH in there, to make it a little bit easier for you to pronounce. The most important thing is, if you are going to use a different sound, whether it's an F, a V, or even a D that sometimes people use, it's important that you're consistent. As long as you use that same sound to replace the TH throughout your conversation, the person who's listening to you will understand what you're saying. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. And if you haven't seen it already, I recommend this video. It's a really good one. So until I see you next time, keep practicing.